in this chicken game for a long time. I really thought that I had seen everything there is out there. Well, obviously that's not true, and I really wish I hadn't seen this. I really do. Hey guys, welcome to Chickenlandia. I am a backyard chicken educator here in the Pacific Northwest, but you can call me the president of Chickenlandia. You may be surprised and shocked to know that I have friends that aren't chickens. So I have these friends, Kelly and Ricardo. They live in California, and you may have heard of them. They have an awesome YouTube channel. It's called Bok Bok Bouquet, and I really wish I would have thought of that. I'm kind of jealous. It was about a month ago that I was chatting with Kelly on Messenger, and she was like, "We've lost our entire chicken coop. I've been in tears off and on for days." So obviously I was totally shocked to read this, and I was like, what is going on? And she showed me this photo of their beautiful chicken coop. And I mean, this chicken coop was beautiful. Ricardo, he builds custom coops. That's what he does. And the coop was completely destroyed. They had just totally taken it apart, and it was so heartbreaking. I had never heard of this, but we had a full-blown fowl tick infestation. So up until this point, I had really only read about fowl tick. It's also known as chicken tick. I had only read about it briefly in books. I hadn't heard a lot about it. And this is a parasite that really has traditionally been in the southern states. And even there, it's been pretty rare, but it looks like it's starting to become more common. It's definitely not up here in the Pacific Northwest because the climate is just not appropriate for them here. But down where Kelly and Ricardo are in California, it looks like they are there, and it's really unfortunate. One of my absolute favorite chicken books. It's a book that I really recommend everybody have. If you're gonna have chickens, you should definitely have this book. It's by author Gail Damerow, and the book is called The Chicken Health Handbook. In it, she writes about fowl tick, and she says, "They feed only on blood and can survive a year or more between feedings." Are they like freaking Dracula? I think actually Dracula needs more blood than that. It's like, die tick, die. A female tick lays as many as 7 batches of eggs containing up to 500 eggs each. Oh my gosh. And she goes on to say that the ticks, they lay their eggs in the crevices of the coop walls. And obviously this is horrible. And apparently they can go a long time without the chicken keeper noticing them because they hide during the day. So because fowl tick has been pretty rare in the United States, there's just not a lot of information about them online. And that's why I wanted to get together with Kelly and Ricardo and bring some information to you guys so that if this happens to you, you will at least have, some information on what to do to deal with it. So let's go back in time and see what Ricardo and Kelly of Bok Bok Bouquet have to say about all this.
Hello everyone at Chickenlandia, I'm Kelly.
And this is Ricardo over at Bok Bok Bouquet.
And today we wanted to tell you about the worst thing that's ever happened to us in our chicken keeping history.
And it was bad. I first discovered it when I was collecting eggs that night with the flashlight. And then I saw something crawling over our nesting boxes. And then I went and called her right away and I said, "You gotta come look at this," because I knew it wasn't lice or mites. It was something else.
Right away, I thought, that looks like a tick. And it didn't look like a normal tick, like not your deer or dog tick. It had smaller legs, but it was still similar enough that we quickly realized what it was. And as soon as we squished it, it was like a water balloon of blood. It was disgusting. And we shoved a putty knife, a paint scraper, in between our trim, and it was like a horror movie, like a scary movie.
It's gonna sound gruesome, but yeah, it's just dripping down. I started feeling itchy even though there was nothing on me. I was just like, oh my God, what if one of them gets on us and then they could carry diseases and all that?
We didn't realize how severe our infestation was because they hide extremely well. They hide in the cracks and the crevices of your coop walls, and it keeps them safe from sunlight and dehydration. The ticks, when they hatch out of the eggs, they live on the chicken for 10 days of their life cycle, drink blood, they fall off, off, they molt, they shed, they become an adult tick, and that's when they live in the coop walls and they only come out to feed at night. Not like a traditional tick that stays on the animal and gorges
Ouch.
itself.
It really went undetected for a while because the ticks would only come out late at night, not even at sundown. It was like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. That's when I was collecting the eggs, and then that's when they would come out, and then they hide all day long. They would
Before
just
we
come
knew
out
it,
at
we had
night.
a full-blown infestation, and it was incredible, the numbers that they're just designed to be so successful, and it's just so unfair, and it was truly horrifying. So the first thing we did right away was we grabbed our Electra PSP from our chicken first aid kit, because that's how we had previously treated lice and mites in our flock and got rid of them completely. We sprayed the coop that night, we sprayed everything we could. We thought we'd better treat the next day, but it ended up being the Electra PSP did absolutely nothing. I grabbed a couple ticks and put them in shot glasses, and I had a tick swimming in Electra PSP the entire night. Next morning, woke up, that tick was still well alive.
Still crawling
Just still
inside the shot
crawling.
glass. I couldn't make it
Yeah.
out, but it was
So,
still moving around.
Electra PSP did not work. So then I went to the internet and I looked up a great article, and they said Orange Guard works. So I ran to my Ace hardware store, picked up a gallon of Orange Guard, and sure enough, Orange Guard, which is orange zest peel, kills the ticks. So that was what we sprayed our coop with. It's oil-based, it's pet safe. You can't treat a chicken with the Orange Guard, so we ordered permethrin concentrate to be mixed and diluted with water to spray our coop. We ended up not treating our chickens with it, but you could dip them or spray the chicken with it theoretically. We also want to add that the permethrin powder form did not kill the ticks either. They were fully living in our little shot glass of powder. So we put that in the nesting boxes. That might be a preventative, but it didn't kill them either.
And originally we thought we would just spray our coop down and kill them all, but it was just so overran with the ticks in the thousands, and I mean thousands.
And other areas, people say the best way to treat is to burn your coop. We can't do that here in fire country. We're in Southern California. No burn piles. Nobody's allowed to burn nothing here.
So unfortunately, we ended up taking our whole coop apart,
spraying it
and we
down
were gonna
completely.
spray it and then put it back together, but it just looked so disgusting that I said it's going away. I'll build us a new one. Right now the chickens are living in just a chicken run because it's summer
100-degree
here.
weather here, it's fine.
They
We're
don't
gonna
need
get them a
shelter
coop
yet.
before winter comes.
Yeah, we had to completely get rid of our coop, unfortunately.
It took us a couple of weeks of continuing spraying our coop and run for the ticks to go through all their life cycle to make sure that they were fully gone. And how we're going to prevent it now is that every spring and summer we're going to spray our coop now that we know that these fowl ticks are in our area. Since we do free range our flock, they are susceptible to wild birds bringing in pests, and that's what happened to us because we didn't introduce any new chickens. This came in from wild birds, and we're not having an enclosed run, so we're going to have to preventatively spray.
This was an awful experience, and we hope that never happens to you. I wish you the best of luck. Back to you, Dahlia.
So I am just so glad that Kelly and Ricardo and their chickens are doing okay now. I know that was like a total ordeal, just absolutely awful. And this is one of those times when I'm actually glad I live this far up north, because usually I'm just like, ugh, I don't like the winter. You know, I want to live in a warmer place. But this is one of those situations where it's like, I'm glad I live where there is no fowl tick. So, speaking of the winter, it is coming. It is coming soon, and you might want to learn a little bit more about how to deal with your chickens during those colder months. And guess what? I have a whole playlist about it. All you have to do is click right here. It's 100% friendly backyard chickens, education, and entertainment, and I know you're gonna love it. And now I need to change my clothes because I feel like there's ticks on me.